In a meeting this week with the families of the hostages in Israel, with the War Cabinet, the leadership of Israel, we had an opportunity to put forward our case of doing everything possible for the release of the over almost 140 hostages still in Gaza. It was the first time that I had an opportunity to listen to the painful testimony of 4 of the released hostages, 4 women, who were there because either their husbands, their children, their fathers are still in Gaza. And one of the things said loudly and clearly by the War Cabinet was, never in the history of warfare do any of them know of a country facing the situation that Israel is facing, that not only with such an evil regime on our doorstep, which has done such a terrible and horrific pogrom that we all know about, but also having 240 hostages on our doorstep of all ages and backgrounds is something that the world has never had to deal with before. And I want to share with you, in this crazy, unnatural situation, an idea about Chanukah that I'd never heard of until last week. I heard this from the rabbi of the Sephardi Shul in Yad Binyamin, Rav Moshe Amsalem Shlita, who is also the head of the Beit Din in Ashdod. He quoted the Shoel Umeshiv. The Baal Shoel Umeshiv is Rabbi Shaul Nathanson, who was the chief rabbi of Lemberg in the 1800s, and he wrote a book called also Shaul Drosh, the Droshot of Shaul, where he has an incredible idea that I'd never heard of before in the halachot of Chanukah. He says as follows: Chanukah is the only chag that there is a prayer that we specifically daven in the benching for a miracle. It says, we say the HaNissim prayer that we say in the benching and in the davening that we say both in Purim and Chanukah. But if one forgot to say the whole nusach of HaNissim, there's a HaRachaman. The Ramah brings this the halacha that a person should say, if they forgot to say HaNissim in the HaRachaman, they should say HaRachaman hu yaseh lanu nisim v'niflaot. Hashem, the merciful one, should do miracles for us just like he did in the times of Chanukah for Matityahu. Really? There's a halacha or an idea that we don't rely on miracles. Since when do we ask for miracles? The world doesn't run in a way that we rely on and ask for miracles. Why is that the case specifically on Chanukah? And says Rabbi Nathanson as follows. He says Chanukah is unlike any other chag on the Jewish calendar. Firstly, it's the only chag festival that we have in the deep, dark winter. These are the longest days in the Northern Hemisphere, the darkest, coldest, most difficult days of the year. Yet in the middle of this incredible darkness, we have light. We light up the night, we light up the world in every single Jewish household with light. And therefore, in the place of impossible darkness, we have this unnatural situation of lighting up the entire world. And says the Shoel Umeshiv as follows. He says the rest of the world, the rest of the year, the world runs according to Hanagat Teva, the way the natural world works. But in Chanukah, we had expressions and revelations of such miracles where one man, Matityahu, and 5 sons, one family, changed the course of Jewish history, doing the impossible, about standing up to the might of the Greek Empire and turning the tide of Jewish history in a time that any pundit or historian or commentator would have said is absolutely impossible. What we have seen today at this time is the impossible. We've seen a people come together like no other. We've seen a country at a time of war having 300,000 people return. Where in the annals of human history has a population grown by 3% of people coming from all around the world to fight and to defend Israel's right and the Jewish people's right to defend itself. We have had expressions of incredible, miraculous self-sacrifice and unity that we haven't seen perhaps for generations. And therefore, Chanukah is a time of miracles. It's a time that we should daven for unnatural miracles, for light in the darkness. And I'll end with a prayer that our son, along with all of the hostages, and along with every single young man and woman and soldier who is fighting, that Hashem should perform this Chanukah impossible miracles. Just like the impossible happened on October 7th in Simchat Torah, with such darkness, so too should there be light, immeasurable light. The world should get turned upside down to release every single hostage well and healthy, and every single soldier should return having fulfilled the mission of removing the evil from our doorstep, bringing all of the hostages home. Chanukah is a time to celebrate miracles, to light up the darkness, and a time where the entire world, as a Jewish people, taps into the reservoirs of miraculous living. And Bezrat Hashem, this time of Chanukah should be a time where all of the darkness is turned into light. Shabbat Shalom, Chanukah Sameach.